Parental advisory, motherfuckers. Big C-Dogg back again. As I promised, this is a video right after the Call of Duty video. Again, it's about religion. So, first off, let me give you a little bit about my background on the matter. My grandmother, big time religious woman. Now, she wasn't one of these religious people that, in church, 8 days a week. She went twice a week. She went Sundays and Wednesdays. Wednesdays because she was actually the organ player, choir practice. So, sorry about that. My neck was feeling a little stuff. So, we went to church twice a week while she could go to church. And then some shit with her happened that disabled her from being able to go to church. So, of course, she started watching. She got real fucking hard up for this Joel Osteen's guy. And her religion was Christianity. To the Christians watching this, what I'll be saying in this video, you're going to be getting real fucking butthurt about. Because let me tell you something, my grandmother had me saying my prayers every night. Now I'll lay me down to sleep. The whole 9 yards, God bless this person, that person, shit like that. So, by about the time I was 10 years old, I quit saying my prayers. My grandmother never understood why. Quite frankly, I didn't even know why. I just up and one day stopped. So, anyway, a few years go by, I'm 14 years old. My grandfather had a stroke, which was real hard for me to see. My grandfather was one that never gave up. He was up faithfully every day, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. That man didn't go to sleep till about 10, 11 o'clock at night. And he was always active. When I saw him not being able to move, paralyzed from a stroke, and just give up, hardest thing I've ever seen that man do. That's about the time I started really questioning shit. Because I was always taught that God loves his children. But some of the shit I've seen in my life, it's really made me question the credibility and the existence of a God. When I was 19, keep in mind, my grandparents raised me. And when I was 19 years old, within a 3-month time period, I lost both my grandparents. One thing I'll say real quick, by the time most people are in their late teens, they've already got a firm grasp on how the world is, how it works, this, that, and the other thing. My grandmother did her best to shelter me from the world, so I didn't know jack shit. And then all of a sudden, at the age of 19, have to be thrown to the wolves, as the saying goes, and being forced to figure out and find my place in the world, what my role is, shit like that. It's a lot of shit to put on someone who's been sheltered from the world all at once. I don't care how old you are. When your whole world crashes down around you and you're forced to re-look at shit, it really gets you questioning certain things. During that time period, for the biggest part of the last 8 years, I was the definition of hell on earth. I was the most evilest, sick, twisted, sadistic motherfucker you could have ever came across. I hated the world. I still hate the world to this day. During that time frame, shortly after my grandparents passed away, I put a post on Facebook. A real long ass post. The only portion of it I remember is stating that I broke the chains that once bound me to him. I freed myself of his word, and I burned the cross I once carried. After my grandparents passed away and I started reevaluating shit, started looking at shit, and really started seeing shit for the way it was, I came to the point that there is no God. There's none. How can I sit here and say that? Again, going into my background a little bit, I had family members. These were uncles, aunts, my grandparents, my cousins, you know, who basically downed me. My grandparents didn't do it as often, but my aunts, uncles, and select aunts, uncles, and cousins, you know, they took every chance they could to down me, degrade me, make me just feel lower than shit. Why? One, it really picked up after I started putting on weight. But that's one reason. Another reason is because of who my dad is. In fact, that really no one on my mom's side of the family liked my dad. Why, to this day, I don't know. So, I mean, when you're going through some shit like that and you're just forced to really look and reevaluate shit, it makes you really start to see what exactly is going on. To all you religious people out there watching this video, I want you to think about something. If your God really loved you, if the Holy Father really loved you, why would he need money? Why does a house of God exactly need money? It makes no sense to me. The pastors, the deacons, whoever who work at the church, run the church, whatever the fuck you want to call it, they have jobs on the side. So why does the congregation have to give up money? Why? Why would an all-powerful being like God need money? He's all-powerful. He's all-knowing. He doesn't need it. You people don't realize that a church is not only the perfect business, it is the perfect hustling setup on the planet. Because think about it, every bit of the money that you're giving to your church is tax-free. Churches don't have to pay taxes. None. Not property tax, school tax, nothing. These buildings are set up for hustling. Plain and fucking simple. Now, again, my views on the subject have gotten me labeled a Satan worshiper, Satanist, atheist. You know, it's gotten me labeled quite a few things. Again, I will touch base on something. Satan is a god. Whether you want to admit it or not, he is a god. We're going to go back to Greek mythology here. Okay? Zeus. All-powerful being, the creator of man in ancient Greek mythology, had two brothers, Poseidon and Hades. Poseidon, god of the oceans. Hades, and really pay attention to this one. Hades was the god of the underworld. The underworld in Greek mythology is the same as hell. Hades in Greek mythology is Satan. Hades is the god of hell, of the underworld. Therefore, in Greek mythology, they're referencing Hades, Satan in Christian religion, in the Catholic religion, in Satanism. Hades is the god of the underworld. Again, Hades is Satan. The underworld is hell. Therefore, Satan is the god of hell. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many times I tell you. I don't care what you say to try to discredit this. I don't care. He is a god at any level. And again, back to a saying that is often found in satanic worship. The saying goes, I kneel before no God. Satan worshipers, whether you believe it or not, you say that and you're still kneeling before a fucking God. Satan is a god. I take that saying and I add at the end of it, I kneel before no God, Satan or otherwise, because again, he is a god. I don't care how many of you try to discredit this. He is a god. So do yourself a favor before you try to discredit me. Do your fucking research on Hades religious people. Do your fucking research on Hades, you satanic son bitches. And then compare him to Satan. Because again, Hades in Greek mythology is the god, lord, whatever the fuck you want to call him, of the underworld. Satan runs the underworld. Satan runs hell. Therefore, he is a god. And he is the god of hell. Satan, I'll tell you now, motherfuckers, he is the only god that I know for a fact exists. Jesus Christ, I don't care who you are. You can sit there and say crosses are proof of Jesus Christ's existence. You can sit there and say the Bible is proof of his existence. The Bible and the cross are made by man. God appointed a man with the sole duty of writing down 10 commandments, 10 rules that mankind should never break. Again, God came up with them, man wrote them. Again, I don't believe in the existence of God. So I look at that and say, man came up with this shit. Man came up with the Bible. Man created the cross. Not some all-powerful being. How can I sit here and say for a fact that God exists? Or I'm sorry, that Satan exists? Because I have walked through the gates of hell and back. And I continue to walk through the gates of hell and back every fucking day of my life. The evil that I have managed to contain within me is one that even Satan himself fears. My mother, during my dark period, called me a demon, told me I was too evil for my own good because of how I acted. I had one guy who didn't believe in the existence of a God or Satan. He looked at me and said, if Satan's real, you are worse than Satan. So for me to sit here and easily say Satan exists, that he's the only God I believe exists, I have my reasons for it. I have my reasons for believing that a God, that Jesus Christ, doesn't exist. Now, I know a lot of you religious fuckers out there right now are watching this like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Get off your high horse and actually reevaluate your situation. Because I'll tell you now, the biggest thing that led me to believe God doesn't exist: Christians are fucking hypocrites. The biggest thing taught in the Christian religion, I don't know if it's taught in other religions, but the biggest thing taught in Christian religion is that only God has a right to judge man. That man has no right to judge itself. Let's think about that for a second. That being the fact, why are there court judges? Judging you, for one. Two, my grandmother was the biggest hypocrite on the planet because she didn't even wait to get out of church to start judging people. She judged them on their race, their color. If they were in an interracial relationship, she judged them on everything. If you weren't white, if you weren't part of a white couple, if you didn't believe in Christianity, she judged you. Christians are hypocrites and liars. Point blank. Now granted, I've met a few Christians who aren't. But for the majority of Christians, you're liars and fucking hypocrites. You teach something supposedly taught by God, by your God. You live by the teachings of this God. You live by the teachings of a man who claims that he talks to God. Again, if God was all powerful, all knowing, why would he need a third party to get his word out? Why wouldn't your God on Sunday come right down to your church personally and deliver his word? It is a non-existent thing. The only God that exists is Satan. Again, I've seen him. I've been face to face with the devil on more than one occasion. I've walked through the gates of hell. I've walked out of the gates of hell. What goes on in this head, to put it simple, you could take the most psychotic motherfucker on the planet, let him walk through the corridors of my mind, that bastard will come out a sane model citizen, and vice versa. I have daily thoughts of cannibalism. I've had bloodlust. I've had visions that would have a Christian grab their cross and their holy water. What goes on in my head terrifies even me, because it makes me seriously think and wonder, what am I really capable of? The person that people deal with on a daily basis is a vessel. That's it. What goes on in here goes on in my body, in my head, in my soul. Has made Satan shit himself. To give you an idea of a vision I once had, got into a real bad fight with my mother one time. Real bad. Over absolutely nothing. I went into my room, found a razor blade on the floor. Picked it up, I held it in this hand, and looked at my left wrist. Razor blade in this hand, and I envisioned, while looking at this wrist, I had a vision of blood gushing out of my arm. In this vision, I could see my hand moving toward my wrist and cutting it. When that vision finally cleared up, my hands were still like this. It scared the living shit out of me. Because at that point, it's just like, what the fuck did I just see? Never once committed suicide. But I know how I'd kill myself if I really wanted to. And as you can see on my arm here, I've come pretty damn close to the end of my wrist. And that's recently. My girlfriend doesn't even understand that with what goes on in my head. I welcome death. I don't fear it. I don't try to run from it. I welcome it. Because that's the only way the images and the thoughts go away. The other night I was laying in bed. And what really scared me was it was right after my girlfriend left here. Is when this happened. I woke up in the middle of the night. I had a random song I've never heard before, playing in my head about Satan. And Satanists, I'll tell you another thing. Your God, your Satan, he's not the true ruler of hell. There's a prophecy that during my dark period I learned. I didn't look it up. I somehow knew about it. It's a prophecy that's not known about the true ruler of hell rising back to power. Your Satan does not run hell. He is not the true ruler. I know who is. I know where he is. He's in this vessel. He informs me of shit. He lets me talk about it. Because he wants people to know. He wants you satanic bitches to know that he will be back. He won't let me say his name. It's the only thing he won't let me say. So, to wrap up how I feel about religion, I'd rather burn in hell than serve no God in heaven. I'd rather be poor than pay your God his holy severance. Fuck your God, the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Father. You all are sheep, and I will lead you now unto the slaughter. Will there be future religion videos? Possibly. Do I expect to get a lot of heat for this video? Definitely. But again, it's my opinion, it's my thoughts, it's what I've lived through, it's what I've dealt with, it's what I believe. My spiritual beliefs is that there is a creator. There has to be a creator because I know there's a destroyer. There has to be a force of good out there because I know there's evil. I know there's demons. I can't say there's angels. I can't. Does that mean that I believe in a God? No. Does that mean I worship Satan? No. I bow before no God. Excuse me. I know where my soul is ending up when I die. And I'm fine with it. Because I'll tell you now, my soul is meant to burn in hell. But again, the evil within me is so powerful that even Satan himself fears it. I will be the only demon to reside in heaven if there is one. Because I am not welcome in hell. So, that being said, the next video, it's actually a good question. I don't know what the topic of the next video is going to be. Might do it on Yu-Gi-Oh! Might do it on gaming. Could do it on computers. Might say fucking try to discredit Penn Commercial a little bit more. Might be another religious video. Don't really know. Could be on Monster. Yes, I drink Monster. I don't give a fuck. Sue me. It don't do shit for me. I'm addicted to caffeine. Don't like it? Fuck off. So, all that being said, like and subscribe to the page. Once again, this is your homie, Big C-Dogg, signing out.